Vatican City is a landlocked sovereign country, city-state, surrounded by, and historically a part of, Rome, Italy. It became independent from Italy in 1929 with the Lateran Treaty, and is a distinct territory under full ownership, exclusive dominion, and sovereign authority and jurisdiction of the Holy See, which is itself a sovereign entity under international law, maintaining the city-state's temporal power, governance, diplomatic, and spiritual independence. The Vatican is also a metonym for the Pope, the Holy See, and the Roman Curia. With an area of 121 acres and a population of about 764, it is the smallest sovereign state in the world both by area and by population. It is also the second least populated capital in the world. As governed by the Holy See, Vatican City State is an ecclesiastical or sacerdotal-monarchical state ruled by the Pope, who is the Bishop of Rome and head of the Catholic Church. The highest state functionaries are all Catholic clergy of various origins. After the Avignon Papacy, 1309 to 1377, the popes have mainly resided at the Apostolic Palace within what is now Vatican City, although at times residing instead in the Quirinal Palace in Rome or elsewhere. The Holy See dates back to early Christianity and is the principal episcopal see of the Catholic Church, which has approximately 1.329 billion baptized Catholics in the world as of 2018 in the Latin Church and 23 Eastern Catholic churches. The independent state of Vatican City, on the other hand, came into existence on the 11th of February 1929 by the Lateran Treaty between the Holy See and Italy, which spoke of it as a new creation, not as a vestige of the much larger Papal States, 756-1870, which had previously encompassed much of central Italy. Vatican City contains religious and cultural sites such as St. Peter's Basilica, the Sistine Chapel, the Vatican Apostolic Library, and the Vatican Museums. They feature some of the world's most famous paintings and sculptures. The Vatican obelisk in St. Peter's Square was brought to Rome from Egypt by Caligula. The name Vatican was already in use in the time of the Roman Republic for the Ager Vaticanus, a marshy area on the west bank of the Tiber across from the city of Rome, located between the Janiculum, the Vatican Hill and Monte Mario, down to the Aventine Hill and up to the confluence of the Cremera Creek. The toponym Ager Vaticanus is attested until the 1st century AD. Afterwards, another toponym appeared, Vaticanus, denoting an area much more restricted, the Vatican Hill, today's St. Peter's Square, and possibly today's Via della Conciliazione. Because of its vicinity to Rome's archenemy, the Etruscan city of Veii, another naming for the Ager Vaticanus was Ripa Veientana or Ripa Etrusca, and for being subjected to the floods of the Tiber. The Romans considered this originally uninhabited part of Rome dismal and ominous. Tacitus wrote that in AD 69, the year of the 4 emperors, when the northern army that brought Vitellius to power arrived in Rome, a large proportion camped in the unhealthy districts of the Vatican, which resulted in many deaths among the common soldiery. And the Tiber being close by, the inability of the Gauls and Germans to bear the heat and the consequent greed with which they drank from the stream weakened their bodies, which were already an easy prey to disease. An early interpretation of the relative locations of the circus and the medieval and current basilicas of St. Peter. One possible modern interpretation during the Roman Empire, many villas were constructed there. After Agrippina the Elder, 14 BC to 18 October AD 33, drained the area and laid out her gardens in the early 1st century AD. In AD 40, her son, Emperor Caligula, the 31st of August AD the 12th to the 24th of January AD 41, r. 37 to 41, built in her gardens a circus for charioteers, AD 40, that was later completed by Nero, the Circus Gay et Nerones, usually called, simply, the Circus of Nero. The Vatican obelisk in St. Peter's Square is the last visible remnant from the Circus of Nero. It was brought from Heliopolis in Egypt by Emperor Caligula. The obelisk originally stood at the center of the spina of the Roman circus. The circus became the site of martyrdom for many Christians after the Great Fire of Rome in AD 64. Tradition states that it was in this circus that St. Peter was crucified upside down. In 1586, the obelisk was relocated to its current position by Pope Sixtus V using a method devised by Italian architect Domenico Fontana. St. Peter's tomb is a site under St. Peter's Basilica that includes several graves and a structure said by Vatican authorities to have been built to memorialize the location of St. Peter's grave. St. Peter's tomb is alleged near the west end of a complex of mausoleums, the Vatican necropolis, that date between about AD 130 and AD 300. The complex was partially torn down and filled with earth to provide a foundation for the building of the first St. Peter's Basilica during the reign of Constantine I in about AD 330. Though many bones have been found at the site of the 2nd century shrine as the result of 2 campaigns of archaeological excavation. Pope Pius XII stated in December 1950 that none could be confirmed to be St. Peter's with absolute certainty. Following the discovery of bones that had been transferred from a second tomb under the monument, on June 26, 1968, Pope Paul VI said that the relics of St. Peter had been identified in a manner considered convincing. Circumstantial evidence was provided to support the claim. The grave allegedly lies at the foot of the aedicula beneath the floor. The remains of 4 individuals and several farm animals were found in this grave. In 1953, after the initial archaeological efforts had been completed, another set of bones were found that were said to have been removed without the archaeologist's knowledge from a niche, loculus, in the north side of a graffiti wall that abuts the red wall on the right of the aedicula. Subsequent testing indicated that these were the bones of a 60 to 70-year-old man. Margherita Garducci argued that these were the remains of St. Peter and that they had been moved into a niche in the graffiti wall from the grave under the aedicula at the time of Constantine. After the peace of the church, Antonio Ferrua, the archaeologist who headed the excavation that uncovered what the Catholic Church says is St. Peter's tomb, said that he was not convinced that the bones that were found were those of St. Peter.